Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. And Bobby, where is this storm now?
So it's just on the Florida-Georgia border, just southeast of Valdosta, Georgia, right about there. You can see the center now. And here's the path, actually. You see it start to wobble just a little bit. And then landfall this morning right around 7 a.m. up near Steinhatchee. Look at the size of the rain shield from this if you go with the rain bands. Almost 800 miles wide. Certainly looks more like the shape of a hurricane, although it is now becoming a little bit more elongated, and it's going to be a little messy here over the next several days as it meanders across the southeast states. But you can see the track that's right here. This is the last 48 hours. It moved pretty quickly once it moved up there. Actually, well, I shouldn't say that. It intensified fairly quickly. It was moving about 12, 13 miles per hour the whole time. That's one of the reasons why we saw so much rain. If it moves faster, you don't get as much rain, but it was going fairly slow. Here's the track, and here's that meandering I was talking about. The forecast now calls for winds, which, well, it's 50 now, but to weaken a little bit more down to 40, but then get out over the water and try and get back to around 50 miles per hour, but then move back on shore near Myrtle Beach, not really until Wednesday night and Thursday. So this thing is going to be around. Now, because of the lower pressures associated with this, we will keep a southwesterly or a westerly wind for most of this work week, through Thursday at least. And that's going to be a little bit on the breezy side as we get going into the afternoon hours. Now, look at the difference between Idalia last year and Debby this year. Fairly close, although Idalia was much stronger as it came by. In fact, Cat 4. Right around landfall, right before landfall. This is Tropical Storm Hurricane Cat 1 at landfall, but very, very close. And only about, landfall was from Perry to Steinhatchee, is only about 40, 45 miles or so. So pretty close. But it's ironic, if you look what Idalia did, it went up, it did this thing, and it came back. Debby might do something very similar to that, except it would be doing it right in here. Small turn. So yeah, pretty close to what we had last year. Now here's the rain bands that are left over. This is about as thick as they will get. They will thin. You'll see less of this overnight tonight, but they're pretty good downpours, and it's still gusty out there, right? We've got gusts in the 30s, and that will go 20 to 30 overnight tonight, and I think we get gusts back into the low 30s again for tomorrow. But as far as winds for surge, it will not be much more than what we're seeing out there right now. Tides will be dropping. We've had a new moon as we got into Sunday, and so that added to the problem with storm surge. But some of these we have to watch. There'll be a couple of thunderstorms in there, but not expecting too much in the way of severe weather with it. Look at all these rainfall totals. I mean, obviously right here in Sarasota, Manatee County was the worst. It looks like Lakewood Ranch, about 16 and a half, almost 17 inches of rainfall. And one of those is an official number. It's just amazing. But we're obviously up and down the immediate coast. You work your way inland, we saw a lot less rain. Nothing like what you remember when we had Ian, very heavy rainfall inland. That's not the case. Flood watches are still in effect. You see all these bright greens? Those are flood warnings for the rivers, and they will continue to rise for the next couple of days. It lags, and then it takes a few days for them to come down. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that for you. Wind gusts, these are the most wind we would see through the night, generally in the 20s. That means winds in the 10s, in the teens, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds sustained. This is tomorrow afternoon, gusts as high as about 30 miles per hour, but that would be about it. But notice it's all out of the west. That is Wednesday, gusts in the mid-20s, so it stays breezy. And I think we keep that through Thursday at least. Now, tides real fast for surge. This was the tide this afternoon around 3 o'clock. Because of the new moon, it's pretty high. The winds are coming down, the tide's coming down, that water will come down. When the tides come back up, even though it's breezy, that tide is not as high as what we just had, and neither is the tide following that. So things will get better as far as the surge goes.